If you think investing is slow, if you think it takes forever to see any results, if you think dividend income isn't worth it, or that to see any big profits you have to invest in risky things like crypto or hype coins, well then, in today's video, I'm going to prove all of those misconceptions wrong as I show you my own real-world experience, and I'll open up my full investment portfolio down to every last stock and ETF and every single rand and cent that I have made and lost, and I'll show you how, over the last 3 years investing, I've been able to make over 6 figures in profit and been able to build myself an ongoing 5-figure a year passive income from dividends. And here's the best part. I didn't do it by investing in risky stocks or hype coins, and I didn't use any complicated algorithms or quantitative analysis that you have to work on Wall Street to understand. In 3 years, I was able to use just a few simple investing methods that I repeated time after time, week after week, month after month, and today I'm sitting with a portfolio of 340,000 Rand with 125,000 Rand in overall profit and an ongoing 17,000 Rand passive income that I get every year, no matter what, even when I'm sleeping, and it just keeps growing. So watch this video to the end and maybe you'll find some information that you can use to take action and that your future self will thank you for. This is Casual Cash, and this is my investing and passive income journey. So let's get started. A few weeks ago, we took a trip to France, which was just incredible. We spent 3 days at Disneyland Paris, taking in all of the attractions and rides and the fireworks display over the Disney castle at night. The whole experience was just mind-blowing, and the next couple of days we visited the city of Paris, where we did the Louvre, the Arc de Triomphe, Notre Dame, took a boat cruise on the River Seine, and of course took pictures by the Eiffel Tower and waited until it was dark to see the light show from underneath it. And a big part of being able to do things like this is from my investing and passive income journey. So let me tell you how I got to this point now, and along the way I will show you my entire investment portfolio and the profit and passive income for each share as of today. Phase 1. I was trying investing for a few years, but that doesn't mean I was investing well. In my early days, I was doing everything wrong. I was investing in hype stocks, which meant if a stock shot up 200% that year, I would invest my money. And usually I was investing at the top and losing money when the price shot back down. So I was trying to time the market and I was failing. My next mistake is that I was buying and selling all the time. You might have done the same, and I was guilty of it. I was getting spooked by the markets, checking my portfolio every hour, and if a share suddenly dropped, I would sell it. And if a different share did well, I might sell something to put it into that next new hot share. All that chopping and changing really meant that I was losing any chance of growth or long-term compounded gains. And the last mistake was not knowing what to invest in or why. I was investing in the big names or what I read about in the news articles, and I had no idea how to actually value the stocks I was buying or why I thought they would go up or down. But then, thankfully, I moved on to phase 2, which is where I started seeing some success. Phase 2 really is education, and honestly most of that education started from YouTube and following people who were getting it right so I could learn from what they were doing. And being able to share your journey, good and bad, is what led to me starting this channel 3 years ago. So if you want to learn more on investing and follow my own journey, then you're welcome to subscribe. So this is what I started doing right, then we'll get to my portfolio. The first and most important thing is time. When you look at stocks to buy, look to hold them for the long term. I now invest typically with the idea to never sell. And you might ask how I take profits, and that's where dividends come in, but we'll get to that. I spend a lot of time looking through stocks and choosing the ones with the best long-term growth and income potential, and I buy them to hold for the next 10, 20, 30 years or the rest of my life. Because of that, you don't check your portfolio every 3 seconds and you don't get spooked or panic sell. The next is what stocks to buy, and that's a complex question that I've talked about in many videos, but let's simplify it for now. I only invest for 2 reasons. One is for long-term gain. So I look for stocks that have long-term graphs like this one, which is the S&P 500, and you can see over the long term it's got solid and steady gains. or like this one here, which is realty income. Companies that I know will bring me compounded gains in the decades to come. And the other is value investing and looking for shares where the price has been depressed because of a temporary factor, and I buy in while prices are low, then dollar cost average into them over time while the price slowly comes up. And that is my next trick to successful investing, dollar cost averaging, which means to buy shares bit by bit instead of one large lump sum. So I usually top up shares every week, but it can also be daily or monthly. The point is, by doing this, you are spreading out your risk so you don't buy at the top the day before a crash. But if a crash comes or the price goes down, you are lowering your average purchase price with each buy as it goes down, so you make exponentially more when it comes up. It means you are less likely to lose money because you are averaging your cost price for shares. And honestly, those are the basics of my rules of three, the three mistakes I was making, the three major rules I have followed over the last 3 years to build my 300,000 Rand portfolio. And it's how I ended up finally making money and having a large profit and passive income at this point. Now, there's a lot more nuance and specifics to the journey that we can't put in one video, but luckily I documented all 3 years, so if you want to follow that journey, it's all here on the channel. But for now, let's get right into the portfolio and I'll show you every single holding and how much profit and passive income they are each generating. Now, if you want to start your own investing journey or to jumpstart it, I've got something for you. This is Brokstock, which is an investing platform that you can use to invest in companies and start building your own stock and dividend portfolio. It's a great platform that makes it simple and easy to begin investing or grow your portfolio. They don't charge any monthly fees, so more of that money can go to your investments. And the best part is that if you sign up to Brokstock using the link in the description and deposit 500 Rand to get started, you will get an extra 100 Rand for free from Brokstock deposited right into your Brokstock account within 7 to 10 days. This special is just for casual cash viewers, so you will need to use the link below to claim it. So go ahead and try a great platform, build your portfolio, and use that free 100 Rand to get closer to your financial goals. So, over 3 years, I have made a 6-figure total return on investment of 125,000 Rand with an ongoing 5-figure passive income per year of 17,000 Rand. And out of that 125,000 total, it has come from 3 different areas, which are interest on cash, share price gain, and dividend income. So, let's start with interest on cash. It's less interesting, but I always keep a portion of my portfolio in cash. The first reason is to protect my shares. Life happens and things can come up that require you to pay more than you would have thought. I said earlier I don't want to sell my shares, so a cash portion acts as a protective wall around my portfolio, so I can use, deplete, and replenish my cash and not have to sell any shares. The second reason is a bit of passive income. Right now, interest rates are still high, so you get better interest on your cash. So over the last 3 years, I've used a few different banks and accounts for interest, but overall it has come to a total interest income of 30,333 Rand. And right now I have a cash holding of about 95,000 Rand, earning 5.2% interest a year or 415 Rand a month. Now for an exciting part of my portfolio, the dividends and passive income, because every stock that I own has some form of dividend payment. So remember I said I would like to hold these shares forever? Well, I use dividends as a way to take out profits, because it doesn't help to invest your whole life and never use it. So my dividends are how I take profits, grow passive income, and still hold my investments and grow them. One of my goals is to financially retire on passive income, so the more I generate, the more freedom I'm able to buy for myself. So let's have a look at the annual dividends in my portfolio. This table is the first look at my investments, and it shows every single stock and company that I own. Then next to that is the value of my holding in cash terms. And then we have the dividend percentage of that company. And lastly is exactly how much I make a year from each holding down to the cent. Now, some of these companies pay dividends monthly, like the Global X Nasdaq 100 Covered Call, Realty Income, and EPR Properties, and others pay once a year like Sanlam. Some pay a large amount like Octodec at 4,600 a year, or smaller like IG Group because of how much I have invested. Now, prices change, but as of this week, if you invested these amounts into each company, this is how much you would get. And the last point to make is that I bought many of these before all of the price growth you're about to see, so the dividend percentage on my original money invested is quite a bit higher. And that's the beauty of investing over time and having the share price and dividends grow. So in total, throughout all my investments, I'm currently making a passive dividend income of 17,500 Rand a year. And if you add that with the interest on cash, it comes to a total passive income of 22,500 Rand a year. And although I've grown my portfolio in the last 3 years, my passive income for that period from just dividends comes to a total of 43,668 Rand. Okay, so that's the interest and the dividends. Now we get to the biggest source of profit to get to 125,000 Rand, and that's share price growth. Here I'm going to show you every stock and how much I've made by investing in it. I invest in 3 locations: South Africa, the USA, and the UK. So let's start with the UK. Here I have 4 companies I'm invested in: HSBC Bank, Lloyds Bank, IG Group, which is a trading platform, and SSE, which is a renewable energy producer. There are 2 new energy stocks I'm about to invest in here, but as you can see, SSE is up about 10%, IG Group 27%, HSBC up 33%, and Lloyds Bank up a very nice 41%. So a total share price gain of £288 or 6,500 Rand. Next is my USA portfolio, where I have 5 main holdings that make up the bulk of this area, and more recently I started investing in 8 tech stocks, which are small recent amounts that I'll slowly build up over time. So I bought EPR Properties this month and it's down 2%. This is a new share that pays dividends monthly at 7% a year, so we'll see how it does over the years. Then Global X is up 6%, Realty Income I have holdings in 2 currencies and it's up 14 and 25%, and the same thing with my S&P 500 over 2 currencies is up 6 and 30% respectively. And then my largest US holding and the biggest gain as well is Simon Property, which is up over 50% and is $471 in profit by itself. The tech stocks I invested in 2 months ago are all in profits between 1% and 28% gain for $16 total gain, but I only have a few $100s in these and I will dollar cost average and grow them over time. So the total share price gain in my USA portfolio comes to a total of $912 profit or 16,000 Rand. And last is my South African portfolio. Now, this is my oldest portfolio in the 3 years, has had the most time to grow and compound, and where I initially had invested the most money, and because of that has the most profits. So let's take a look. I have 7 companies I invested in. At the bottom is Storage with 13% growth, Standard Bank with 46%, Sanlam with 47% growth, Octodec with 30% growth and nearly 10,000 Rand profit by itself, Nedbank at 50%, FirstRand at 26%, and lastly Fairvest with a massive 56% in growth. So for this portfolio, I have made a share price gain of 28,903 Rand. And that brings our total gains in share price across the UK, USA and SA to an amount of 51,000 Rand. So let's do our maths here. That means over the last 3 years since I've started this investing journey, using the methods that I talked about earlier, I have made 30,333 Rand in interest on cash, plus another 43,668 Rand from dividend income, and lastly another 51,435 Rand in share price gains, for a total overall return of 125,436 Rand. So, as you can see from my portfolio, I didn't rush. I didn't invest in risky stocks or risky hype crypto coins, and I didn't need any advanced degrees to follow the 3 simple rules I set myself for investing. And the end result is that 3 years later, I am 6 figures in profit with a 340,000 Rand portfolio and a 5-figure passive income. And all I did was decide to start the journey then and keep learning along the way. And if I didn't make that decision, I wouldn't have everything we just talked about. And remember, this is just the beginning. This is just 3 years. Hopefully you'll be here to see what we can get to in 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years with all of this compounded. That, my friends, is the power of investing and passive income. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to follow my investing journey. And if you want to see what I invest in day by day in real time, along with my monthly portfolio and passive income updates, come to the Casual Cash Club in the description and get a 7-day free trial. Then go claim your 100 Rand for free from Brokstock with the links below. But until then, I'll see you guys next time, as always, on Casual Cash. Cheers.